And this is the unique mission of NASA, because we all come together as we push the frontier, as we push out into the unknown, and we see our planet, our home, and we have a central mission to protect our planet. As a result of that experience, I became more of an environmentalist because I could see our ecosystem. Bob Cabana is here. Anyone who has flown, or you see these dramatic photos and videos, and you look at the rim of the Earth, and you can actually see the thin film of the atmosphere, and you realize that that is what sustains all of life. With the naked eye, you could see from that altitude how we're messing it up. You could see the color contrast coming across Brazil in the upper Amazon region. You could look to the east, there's the mouth of the Amazon. You could see the silt for hundreds of miles out into the Atlantic. Coming across Madagascar back then, 36 years ago, they had cut down all the trees. And so when the rains came, there wasn't a topsoil. And all of that topsoil washed down the rivers. And you could clearly see that from space in the mouths of all the rivers, that silt flowing into the bright blue waters of the Indian Ocean. Because of that environmental effect, I was really excited last week to join the president in announcing a new development of a next generation of climate data systems at NASA. It's the Earth System Observatory to help us understand and track how climate change is impacting communities across the country and around the world. That meeting, held at FEMA headquarters in preparation for hurricane season, I underscored to the president how this Earth System Observatory will better help America and the world with better data to track natural hazards, including hurricanes, and be better prepared and to support our communities, families, and businesses before a disaster, not just after. The Earth System Observatory will consist of 5 integrated satellites, the first of which is scheduled to be launched in January of 23. We need these investments because storms are getting stronger and more destructive. And if we want to mitigate climate change, we've got to measure it. And that's what NASA does. NASA designs, builds, launches all of those instruments in space to give us an unprecedented understanding of the Earth. It's a 3D holistic view from the bedrock to the atmosphere. So let's learn more about this new video.
As NASA prepares to send humans to the Moon and Mars, and peer even deeper into the universe, we turn with a renewed focus to our home planet of Earth. The next generation of Earth science begins with the new Earth System Observatory. The core of the observatory is an array of 5 new satellite missions that will study the atmosphere, the ground, and even what's happening underneath the surface.
These spacecraft will look at the Earth, each one of them their own way, and will integrate all the data in a common approach.
Taken together as a single observatory, we will have a complete 3-dimensional understanding of our Earth systems, how they work together, how one change can influence another. It will watch our planet change, driving solutions for better living, managing water and food resources, predicting natural hazards, coping with sea level rise in coastal communities, and heat islands in our cities.
Every 10 years, the best scientists in the United States and worldwide come together and create a strategy, the decadal strategy. And it recommended that we build missions that together form an Earth System Observatory.
We're going to be looking at processes at the microphysical scale, at the large kind of convective scale, at the smaller scale in the oceans, and we're going to be investigating those, pulling that out, encapsulating that, putting that into weather models and climate models, and those are going to allow us to predict and project the future with far more confidence.
We can, from space, help farmers. We can help others that grow food around the Earth.
If there is an earthquake, we can get our models better, and from there we can predict better also in the future.
We can monitor fresh water both on the surface and underground to help water managers, both for communities as well as agriculture.
To build the observatory, we will expand our partnerships with commercial companies and international space agencies to take advantage of innovation and new technology.
We recognize, because of the global nature of the issues at hand, we want international partners to be part of that also. We're working together, and the science that we're doing has to serve all of us.
NISAR is our first major partnership with the Indian Space Agency in Earth science. It brings together two different kinds of radar systems that together will see changes in our Earth's surface that will help us predict natural hazards in the future.
The NISAR mission will measure changes in Earth's surface less than a centimeter across. It will measure the movement of glaciers and ice sheets, the dynamics of earthquakes and volcanoes, and changes in farmland.
We will observe the Earth every 12 days exactly at the right repeat pass orbit. We can study small changes in the Earth system sciences.
The Earth's climate is changing. We have documented the changes that we're seeing over the last few decades. We know that it's being driven by human activities, and it's absolutely essential that we continue to understand what's happening, what's changing, in order to better predict what's going to happen and perhaps help people make better choices.
Understanding how our planet and its climate are changing is the foundation for a more resilient and sustainable future. NASA's Earth System Observatory is the next step in this ongoing mission, a mission to the only planet we can call home.
And you've just seen some of these great scientists. And I believe Dr. Z is almost as excited as I am. And that's what he's leading, and it's incredible. And what you just saw is just the tip of the iceberg. The Earth System Observatory is just one of the many missions that we have on the horizon. And I'm excited to share more about the exciting future we have in store here at NASA. But first, I want to thank you for all the work you've done over the past year. Back in March 2020, many of you packed up your computers, you went home to work from your kitchen table, your living rooms, your basements, while some of you were mission critical and you had to continue working on site under strict guidelines to keep you healthy and to keep your colleagues and your families healthy too. You did that, and I thank you for that. And despite all these hardships, it's been an amazing year for NASA. The agency has launched 10 astronauts from American rockets on American soil. We've had all of America on the edge of their seats as Perseverance came through those 7 minutes of terror, made a successful landing on Mars. And since then, we've created oxygen on Mars, and we've seen Ingenuity, that little helicopter, defeat the odds, outliving its planned lifespan, and it transitioned from a tech demo to a Scout. It's the first flight on another planet. And here's Jennifer Trosper out at JPL to give us a live update on Perseverance and Ingenuity.
Thank you. Well, it's a privilege to be here to talk about the Perseverance rover mission. Today is the 101st sol on Mars for the Perseverance rover. 101 Martian days ago, Percy successfully landed on the red planet at Jezero Crater. Jezero Crater is an ancient lake bed on Mars and a great place for Perseverance to search for ancient microbial life. Now, shortly after landing, we started sending down images for the first time of the landing and from the rover's perspective. And then shortly after that, Perseverance quickly got to work on her commissioning activities. Commissioning is when we check out all the functions of the rover to make sure that during their flight to Mars and their rather dramatic landing on Mars, the functions all still work. Just 2 days ago, Perseverance finished all of her commissioning activities. During this time, she sent down over 75,000 images of our landing site. And some of those images were what I call the vacation photos of Percy and Ingenuity sitting there together on the surface of Mars, learning new things. She also deployed Ingenuity